What is up, everybody? It's your girl, Bday here, aka Diamond, and I'm back with another video. But first, if this is your first time seeing my face or knowing of my existence, my name is Diamond. I go by Bday here on the internet, and over here I like to do reading vlogs, book reviews, and everything in between. So if that is something that you're interested in, or if you just like my personality, you should consider subscribing. All right, so today is my birthday. Today is March the 9th, 2024, and it is my birthday. And I turned 32 years old today. I am 32 years young. I get asked all the time, how old am I? And whenever I would say 30 or 31, people would be so shocked and surprised. Yes, I'm 32 today. I'm happy. It's my birthday. And for the most part, I'm going to be spending the day at home reading, because the first thing that I decided to do after brushing my teeth and washing my face and all of the things was I went book shopping, because that is just where we are in life. That's where I am in life. That's what excites me. That's what makes me happy. And that's what I did. So I have some books here, and I went once again to my favorite used bookstore. I know I buy a lot of books, but it's justifiable because I do read them, and also I always buy them used. I always shop used first before I go ahead and make the leap and purchase a book full price. Always, always, always. Okay, not always. I've just ordered 2 books, but those are different. Those are sequels to books that I just read. So I purchased Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb, because I just finished The Assassin's Apprentice, and I also purchased Gormenghast, which is the sequel to Titus Grown. I knew I wasn't going to find those, but however, I have to anyway, other than those 2, this is what I did. I had on my mind today that I was going to find Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel, because I am obsessed with going ahead and reading Wolf Hall. It's been on my mind for days. I even got the audiobook from the library, but I knew I wanted a physical copy. I knew it, and I knew that I wanted to read that book today, because that's what we're going to do today. We're going to read Wolf Hall today. And so something was just like, girl, go to your bookstore, see if they have it. And they had it. Look at this. It's brand new. Like, what? So I have read these books out of order. I read Bring Up the Bodies by Hilary Mantel, which is the second installment of the Thomas Cromwell trilogy, which you can read them out of order. You truly can. That one is nothing. Excuse me. I just ate also. I had over medium eggs on ciabatta bread with raw tomato and cucumber and sardines. So delicious and nutritious. Yeah, I read Bring Up the Bodies a couple of years ago in 2022. Loved it. I could read it without reading this, because it's about the steadfast, Thomas Cromwell being steadfast and unmovable regarding the beheading of Anne Boleyn for supposedly sleeping with her brother to get pregnant because she could not produce a male heir, which is completely untrue. She was completely lied on, and that showed the scheming and cunningness of Thomas Cromwell. But however, since reading that, it has been on my mind to go ahead and read Wolf Hall. Wolf Hall was intimidating to me because it is like 32 hours long. Look at this. It's a chunker. This edition is not that many pages, though. This edition is a little bit over 600 pages. But that's before I started reading big books. Since reading that, I've read so many huge books, enough to know that I can read this and not be intimidated by it. So I've been wanting to read it. So we're going to start Wolf Hall today. And I found it, and I paid $2 for this. So I guess we can just start the book haul. And I also found Joshua Cohen's The Netanyahus, an account of a minor and untimely event, negligible even, episode in the history of a very famous family. Whatever. It is a NYRB. I heard about this book. I think it won the Pulitzer. If I'm not mistaken, it won something a few years ago. It was published in 2020. winner of the National Jewish Book Award for Fiction, a finalist for the National Book Award Critics Circle Award for Fiction, one of Kirkus Best Fiction Books of 2021. Okay, so it won the National Jewish Book Award. I don't even know what this is about. I heard about it briefly a couple of years ago, but when I saw it, I was like, that sounds familiar. So it's about Corbin College, not quite upstate New York, winter 1959 to 1960. Reuben Bloom, a Jewish historian, but not a historian of the Jews, is co-opted onto a hiring committee to review the application of an exiled Israeli scholar specializing in the Spanish Inquisition. When Benjamin Netanyahu shows up for an interview, family unexpectedly in tow. So he shows up with his family. Bloom plays the reluctant host of guests who proceed to lay waste to his American compliances. Mixing fiction with nonfiction, the campus novel with the lecture, The Netanyahus, is a wildly inventive, genre-bending comedy of bending, identity, and politics that finds Joshua Cohen at the height of his powers. Okay. One person, I don't want to read what one person says, but it's because it's so long. But you know what? This is a vlog, actually. This is not independent video. It's actually going to be me reading Wolf Hall and me reading Panin, because I started Panin on yesterday. So it's a vlog. Cool. Don't know when I'm going to read it, but I'm going to read it. The Netanyahus. Then we have White Oleander by Janet Finch. I seen this movie multiple times. It's one of my favorite movies, and I have been wanting to find this book, and I looked up on it today, and I'm so glad that I did. So for those of you who don't know, this book is about a girl and her mom. It's a mother-daughter story. I'm not spoiling it by saying, because it happens early on. Her mom is an artist who is self-absorbed and is only interested in her own life. Of course, she loves her daughter. I think her daughter's name is Ingrid. Am I right? I was right. Her daughter's name is Ingrid. Ingrid is absolutely obsessed with her mom at the beginning of the story. She thinks her mom is the most wonderful, most great person ever. She doesn't realize until her mom is taken away from her, until she's taken away from her mom, that her mom is actually very selfish and self-absorbed. And what happens is her mom is obsessed so much with herself. She's a narcissist, that she has an affair with a man who either is married or has another girlfriend, and drops her completely out the blue. And she poisons him. She either poisons him, shoots him, or stabs him. One or the other. Or she poisons him first. He confronts her about it. She thinks poisoning him is going to get his attention. It doesn't. And I think she decides to go ahead and shoot or stab him. One or the other. It happens early. And then we go on the journey of Ingrid and all of these different foster situations that she puts herself in, which are most definitely character studies of these individuals and how repressed women can be and how unhappy women are in their daily lives, and how you have to put on a front almost to be perceived as one way when you're really completely the polar opposite of that person. And Ingrid basically grows up, and it's just a great movie. So I'm truly interested in the aspects of a novel version versus a movie, because movies are sped up novels. I want to read the writing style. I want to read how this author depicts Ingrid in the book version, her mom, the different foster mothers that she encounters, and the way Ingrid decided to grow up. I really wanted to read it, so I was so happy when I saw this. I really went on the hunt for this, because what happened is, at the bookstore that I go to, it's just very free. And so they have this enormous bookshelf. And one of my vlogs, I actually went there. I think it's the vlog where I'm reading Cassandra at the Wedding. There's cabinets underneath the bookshelf, and you can look in the cabinets. And so this was behind a big stack of books in the cabinet. So I definitely was meant to find this today, and I'm glad that I did. Then we have Virginia Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway. I like this copy. And I'm gonna unhaul the copy that I have with the white woman on the cover. No offense to the white women, but I have enough books with white women on the cover, and I just thought that this one was very, very nice. And I just like it. It's one of those vintage classics copies. I really like it. And so yeah, this, everybody knows what Mrs. Dalloway is about. It's about a woman. I think she's also repressed, and she does a lot of things on her own, but it's over the span of one day when she's planning a party, and I think she might unravel at the party. I don't know in particular what happens, but I just think everything is going to go wrong, basically. On a day where everything should go right, everything is going to go wrong, I think. And we have The Mirror and the Light. This is how lucky I got today. Okay, so I already have Bring Up the Bodies on my shelf. This is The Mirror and the Light, which is the final installment of the Thomas Cromwell trilogy. And then I looked up on Wolf Hall. I was so excited when I saw this. When I saw this first, actually. And I didn't find Wolf Hall until I went around to the other side, because there's a whole other side full of bookshelves in alphabetical order also. If you don't know, when you're shopping secondhand, the books are in alphabetical order. So I thought that, I found this first, and I was like, dang, at least I found this one, because I'm going to read all three. But the only thing I don't like about this is I don't like the white pages. I'm not a fan of white pages. I like brown pages, sandy, sepia colored pages. But anyway, this is the final installment of the Thomas Cromwell trilogy by Hilary Mantel. They say this one's a little bit longer because it's meandering, and I don't know. But who cares? I'm gonna read it because I'm absolutely obsessed. And yeah, I don't know. This follows his downfall, I think. So you have the rise in Wolf Hall, the medium rise in his obsession with Anne Boleyn and Bring Up the Bodies, and then you have the subsequent fall. And lastly, I have not owned a copy. I read Donna Tartt's The Secret History in 2021. And I've never owned a copy, and I found this. So yeah, those are all the books. The Secret History, you guys know Secret History is about a group of friends who are studying the classics at a upstate New York or Maine college, a college in Maine or whatever, and they commit a murder, and it's just about how they all cope with that murder throughout the novel, and the way that their lives just continue to go on after that, and some sort of awakening by one of the friends. And them never getting caught. Yeah, those are the books that I found today for my birthday. Very happy. And this is the reading vlog. So the reading vlog is going to be on Panin and Wolf Hall. So I started reading Panin. I'm on chapter 3. It's very cute, very fun, very funny. It's about a Russian professor named Timothy Panin, and he's now in exile in America. He had to leave for reasons I don't know yet, and you can tell that he misses his home. He misses his home. He's already having little flashback memories of what it was like to be in Russia, and he does not speak English very well either, which is written very funny. I think it's omniscient, third person omniscient. There's a person writing about Timothy, and he's calling him my friend in the novel, and let us look at him, or as you can tell, Timothy is not, whatever the case may be. Really funny book. Is very endearing, I can tell. This is my first Nabokov. He definitely sucks you in, for sure. Everything people says about his writing is very much there. You just want to keep reading, and I just like the way that he's describing Panin. It's just a unique story. At first I was like, what am I reading? But now I'm like, okay, I got it, I get it. I had to get used to the writing style. Now I'm used to it. Now I gotta find out more. So that's what we have going on with that. because I don't have much to say. Right now, at the beginning, he's basically like on the wrong train, headed to do a seminar at a college that he doesn't otherwise actually work at. And so just that whole language barrier of it all, and him getting on the wrong train, thinking he's going one way and he's actually supposed to be going the other way. And I just like the way that it's written. And then, of course, the book that I just got today, I'm going to be reading Wolf Hall alongside the audiobook, since I already have the audiobook. I figured that's the best way for something this long. And yeah, that's just what I want to do. I don't want to read it by itself. I want to listen to someone with an accent who can like be as dramatic as I feel this book is. Look at for how long it is, you know, it's dramatic. So I'm going to see how I like that, reading them together, the audio and the physical copy. And I'm going to give you guys an update when I have some things to say. I've never read, I was just about to lie and say I never read Hilary Mantel, and I did read Hilary Mantel. So yeah, but it's been a minute. So, you know, I got to get back abreast with her writing style. So I'm about to do that. And that's all. That's literally all I'm doing for my birthday. I don't want to do anything else. I have plans this evening, but they're tentative because I don't know. I'm just not in the mood. I'm only in the mood to sit here and do something that really interests me and makes me really happy. This is it. You know, I'm child free for the weekend. My daughter's with my mom, and I know that that's purposeful because it's my birthday. And I think my mom maybe thought that I was getting out. I think I did tell her I was gonna do something. And my daughter likes to be at my mom's house, so that's where she is. And I don't know. I'm just gonna take this time for me. I have a lot of different things going on mentally. Not bad. Very good mental things. You guys know I'm in a transition. If you watch my videos, you know I'm in a career transition. You know, I have a couple of job offers. I have to just sit and think what I want to do, which avenue I want to go in, you know. And the best thing for me to do is to gain perspective. Is to just like relax, you know what I mean? And just like read. That's all I want to do. I just want to just chill out and read. I don't want to do anything else. I've had a coffee today. I just ate lunch, brunch, whatever you want to call it. It's definitely brunch. I had my lemonade, and I got my book. And that's literally quite all that I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. I'll put these on the shelf later. I want to sit them somewhere though. I'm gonna get comfy, and I want to put a dent in. Oh, it's all the way over here. And I want to put a dent in Wolf Hall. That's quite all that I'm interested in right now. I know that there's like a large cast of characters. Okay. And rest in peace to Miss Hillary. When did this come out? Because I thought this was recent. Oh. So I'm late to the party. So this came out in 2009. Wow. Why did I think Wolf Hall just came out? I think it's because it had to be. This is all the way over here. It had to be because it had a resurgence over the last couple of years because Bring Up the Bodies came out. That's what it was. And then it says it on the front. My dumb ass. It says right here, winner of the 2009 Man Booker. And then I want to say Bring Up the Bodies won when that came out. Ooh, that's a pretty copy. Yeah, this lady is so she was so decorated and celebrated. Yep, it won the Booker in 2012. So 2009, 2012. I don't think that the last one, The Mirror and the Light, it got nominated. The Mirror and the Light was nominated, but it didn't win. We are about to go. Actually, I listened to chapter 1 alone without the book because I didn't have the book. But after listening to chapter 1, I felt like I had to find this. So we're about to start. And chapter 1, we met Thomas and Thomas's abusive father, who's a blacksmith. That's all we know. And his sister, who clearly loves him and wants to see him happy and safe. That was chapter 1, basically. But it was such a blur that I probably just might play it again, honestly. Or not. I think that was about it. I think that was it. Yeah, he just had an abusive dad. And it was called Across the Narrow Sea. So now get up. Failed day, yeah. Failed day silent, he has fallen, knocked full length on the cobbles of the yard. His head turned sideways, his eyes are turned toward the gate, as if someone might arrive to help him out. One blow properly placed could kill him now. That's his dad. His dad, yeah, is beating him. So I was right. I guess I wasn't. So chapter 2 starts. Chapter 2 is called Paternity, and it says 1527. So, man, it's a long time ago. But the fact that the idea that I watch TV shows, you know, I'm a big fan of all things historical fiction as it relates to what I decide to watch on television. Whenever I do decide to watch Netflix or HBO Max or anything like that, I'm always watching things that are older, you know, 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. I'm interested in that. So this has to be appealing to me. That's why it is. So yeah, I'm gonna read and I'll come back with an update. It's 1 o'clock. I'm pretty much going to read all day. That's just what I want to do for my birthday. I'm spending my birthday at home reading. Alas, I've come to you guys from the same spot 4 hours later. I've made a decent chunk through. So I've read right here. I've read up into part 3 of Wolf Hall, and I have some thoughts. As anyone would, I have some thoughts. First of all, I have to say that the audiobook is excellent. It's read by, hold on, because it's in the book who it's read by. It's magnificent. First of all, whoever this actor is, hold on, because my battery's about to die. Read by Simon Slater. Chef's kiss. Oh gosh, it's really good. If you haven't read Wolf Hall, come on, read it so we can talk about it in the comment section. It's really good. It's really good. So Thomas Cromwell is definitely sympathetic to this mysterious character who was among one of the most mischievous men in power at court in Tudor London. We get to know his wife Liz, his daughter Anne, his daughter Grace, his son. We don't know much about his son. I forgot his son's name. His son is away at Cambridge. But already in about 150 pages, he has lost his daughters, and he has lost his wife to the sweat sickness. I'm assuming it's influenza of some sort of flu. They've gone away. Right now we're between the time in which he is beaten badly by his father and he runs away and he becomes a soldier, and then he becomes a lawyer and he marries Liz, and he has a really great like law firm type of situation going on in London, and he is a confidant and a comrade and a friend to the cardinal at the time, who is Thomas Wolsey, who was like, you know, a high priest in London and who was really close to King Henry. And of course, it speaks on the turmoil and the debacle in which King Henry wants to get a divorce from Catherine of Aragon, who has been his wife for the last 20 years, 18 at the time in which he looks to seek a divorce. And you know, in order to get that divorce, he has to part from the church, from the Pope. And we haven't gotten to that part yet. And it speaks about the Boleyns and how they mysteriously whisked their way into court, and how Anne, first he was sleeping with Mary, who was described as gorgeous. You know, Scarlett Johansson plays Mary in the other Boleyn Girl, so you know that Mary was very fair and very beautiful. And Anne is very fair and very beautiful also, but more in a dark, mysterious way, more in a perseverance way, seeking power. Mary was more so to herself. She was in love with her husband at the time, Walter, I think that was his name, and she just did her own thing. And then her parents pimped her out and they made her a whore. And so that's now all Mary is known for, which is being a whore and a pass around, when really she just wanted to be outside of court in Yorkshire and with her husband and her daughter that she already had prior. And she does get pregnant, and she does have a son who is the son of Henry, who is acknowledged by Henry up until Anne comes in and whisks Henry away and like does her own thing with him. We all know the story, but that's all to say, Hilary Mantel has done an excellent job at retelling this situation. I feel like I'm in Tudor London. I feel like I'm there amongst the people in the court. Once again, I feel like a fly on the wall, which is how I really love to feel. That's how you know a book is magnificent, when it makes you feel like you are there in real time. And so I'm loving this so much. The intrigue is phenomenal. It's so dramatic. That's why I really like the voice actor, Simon Slater here. Is so dramatic. The most dramatic character right now is the Cardinal, Thomas Wolsey. He is up in arms because he already knew if he came back from Spain without a decree that would allow King Henry to get a divorce, he already knew that King Henry was going to turn on him. He knew it. And it's so important to note how these people were back then and how power really worked. Nothing was fair. Everything was just so out of your hands. It was the king's will. Before God's will, it's the king's will, because God made kings, right? By law, by birth, you are in charge of everybody who lives here on this earth in your land of London. You are powerful. You are all-seeing, all-knowing, omniscient. And that is how they treated King Henry. And in turn, that is how King Henry treated everybody else. And it's just so unfair. It's just so unfair. I feel so sorry for the Cardinal. And then now at the turning point, going into part 3, we have Thomas Cromwell having to devise a plan, because he has been one of the trusted confidants of Cardinal Thomas Wolsey and just a really close friend. That's it. He hasn't really been a part of the intrigue that is court, that is King Henry or Tudor court. He's been just on the outskirts doing his own thing, working his business, and just being there as a friend to the Cardinal. And so because of his association with the Cardinal, and he's lost his wife, he's lost his daughters, he's in fear of losing everything, losing whatever else that he has, because he's guilty by association. And so now I think I've ended off on him basically trying to devise a plan. And I think this is how he is going to swindle his way into court and into becoming King Henry's most trusted confidant, most closest person to him. I can only imagine that that's what's going to happen, because of course this is the Thomas Cromwell trilogy. It is all about Thomas Cromwell, and we know he's going to survive this, and he's going to survive, bring up the bodies, and in the mirror and the light is the only time in which he's probably going to pass away. So yeah, just magnificent, phenomenal, intriguing, educational, all of the things. And I'm so glad that I found this book. I'm so glad that I found this today. I'm not gonna finish it today because I'm actually, what time is it? I'm actually going out for my birthday with my homegirl, Brooklyn. We're gonna hang out a little bit later. So in about an hour, what time? Yeah, it's about to be 5 o'clock. So I'm leaving, we're meeting up at 6:37-ish. So I'll probably get ready around 5:30. So I'll probably be done reading for today. But this, I knocked out a good chunk. I really am enjoying this audiobook. I probably wouldn't be this far if I didn't have the audiobook, just to be honest, but he makes it so intriguing. He makes it so interesting. The reader, the voice actor makes you want to keep going. And so that's why I made it this far. I've literally only gotten up for some water. And yeah, so I'm excited to keep going and telling you guys about the book. Poor little Panin has been thrown off to the side. But this is a worthy contender. And yeah, I'll let you guys know what happens next in the next clip. Hey. Just watching Brand. Watching my girl. I think she's also a fellow Memphian. I hate it's not showing. There she goes. And you know what? I'm watching Brand. I just woke up. Well, I know. I've actually been awake. As you guys can tell, I had a really good night last night. I had so much fun with my girls. Let me show you guys. Let me show y'all a picture of us. I had the best time last night with my homegirls. Hold on. Kelly. This is Kelly. No, this is Kim, Kelly, me, and Brooklyn. We had so much fun last night. Gosh. It was a time. Shout out to Andrew also. Andrew is my good bar friend. He works at this bar called Inkwell. He's actually about to open up his own bar downtown. I'm very proud of him. Shouts out to him. But in the meantime, until his bar's I think he's about to be actually done working at Inkwell. And he's having a soft lunch for St. Patrick's Day at his bar. So me and my friends were gonna go to that. But shouts out to him. He hooked us up last night. My girl Kelly. It was just a great night. And I have some breakfast here. So these are some tomato on the vine. Then we got the English cucumber, a little onion, and then I have just an egg on ciabatta bread. And that's just really good. I'm actually not hungover. I sound like I might be, but I'm not. I don't know why my voice is gone. Wasn't doing a lot of yelling last night, so I don't know what that's about. I really don't know. If you don't eat in the bed, sorry. Actually, I'm sorry, y'all. This is so good, by the way. I'm actually about to jump back into Wolf Hall. I've been thinking about this book all day. I talked about this book at length last night. I'm like, girl, you out for your birthday. Why are you sitting up talking about a book? That's how good this book is. So we're about to jump back in, and I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna finish it today. This is a 600 page book, but I think I'll get pretty far. I'm hoping to make it to like 400, something like that. Because I also forgot to mention in my book haul that I finally got Lonesome Dove. And then this is March of the Mammoth also. I didn't do any March of the Mammoth content, but I'm just in the mood to read some big ass books. And I want to read Lonesome Dove. And I have this stunning first edition hardcover but there's no paperback. I mean, there's no wrap on it, and I actually like it. It has Lonesome Dove printed in bold typeface along the spine, and I just think it's just a gorgeous, like, little first edition copy. And I love when I come across stuff like that. I'm telling you guys, I was so overjoyed when I found that book. And I found that book the day before yesterday. So I found that book on March 8th at a bookstore that I actually don't shop at anymore. So I was happy to see that. But yeah, so I have Lonesome Dove over there also. Because when I finish this, I'm not going straight for The Mirror and the Light. Like I said, I've already read Bring Up the Bodies, but I do plan on reading Bring Up the Bodies again. So when I finish this, I'm going to read Bring Up the Bodies, but not immediately after, because I want to really give myself the full experience of reading the trilogy in order. So I won't be reading The Mirror and the Light for a while. But yeah, I do want to finish this so I can possibly start reading Lonesome Dove. That's a tome. That's a mammoth of a book. So yeah, I hope I don't sound too terrible. Whatever, but I don't want my sandwich to get cold. My sandwiches to get cold. All right, Drew. I had fun last night, y'all. Sometimes this all it takes is just like, it don't take much, you know, especially for me. It doesn't take much to make me happy these days. And I just am super content with my life and where it's going. I don't really need a lot, you know. I just want things to be simple. I really kind of want to move. I do. I kind of want to move to New York. Or like the DMV area. I'm super over Memphis because it doesn't really fit my personality. So that's kind of on my mind, kind of moving a little bit. I do like it here. I do. The cost of living is pretty cheap. But other than that, I don't really want to live here anymore. But I had so much fun last night. Oh, more food all on my chin. This is so good. It doesn't look like much, but it's so good. And it's all, my vegetables have olive oil and salt and pepper on them. And my egg, it's over medium, cooked in olive oil. I love olive oil. I do like olive oil better than butter. I know that's blasphemy. I know it's blasphemy, but it's true. I like it better. I'm gonna catch up on a couple more Sunday booktube videos from other people because I don't have an upload for today because I end up uploading on Friday. So I feel like putting another video out today, that's just too much back to back. So yeah, I'm gonna watch her, a couple of others, and I'm going to chill out. So I'll see y'all when I got some Wolf Hall updates. What's up, you guys? It's me, back with another day for the Wolf Hall and Panin video, which is turning into Wolf Hall alone, which is okay, because Wolf Hall is definitely a force to be reckoned with. So I talked to you guys yesterday morning when I was eating breakfast, talking about my birthday. That was March 10th. Today is Monday, March 11th. And remember, I really wanted to get to page 400 by the end of yesterday, and I did not. I got to page 300. So I got to page 300 and hold on. I'm on page 303. I'm on part 4. There are 6 parts, by the way, and this book is about 604 or 603 pages. So I have not read today. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to do 150 pages today and go ahead and finish the book tomorrow, so that this vlog can be ready for Wednesday, which is easy. It could easily be done because it's so good. All right, so part 4, let's talk about it. I ended off, y'all know what I ended off on talking about. We were talking about part 3 and the whole and Thomas Cromwell basically having to rework everything and work his magic and his wits and smarts because of the situation that he finds himself in, being so close to the cardinal. So that's what we ended off on. And I was just talking about how well done the audiobook is, and it is. It's structured amazingly. The actor, he's amazing. Here's the thing with part 4. So at the end of part 3, Thomas Cromwell ends up becoming a royal counselor to King Henry. So he now has an official position. He has swindled and worked his way into court. He is a part of court now, and he has an official job. And it is because King Henry values his knowledge above everything else. Whenever he's summoned to King Henry for something or another, the knowledge and the way that he words his responses to King Henry makes King Henry think. It makes King Henry think. And what is often said about King Henry is that he did have wits. He was with it with his knowledge. He was very smart among a lot of things. And, you know, even though he was a selfish king, he thought about things before he did them. And that's basically what you can see between the dynamic of Thomas Cromwell and King Henry VIII, is that they work well with each other. And above a lot of things, it seems like King Henry really values that. He doesn't just want yes people around him, although he definitely does. And at the end of the day, Thomas Cromwell is a yes person, but he's a yes person with a lot of intellect, if that makes any sense. So now Thomas Cromwell is in court, and the intrigue continues to ensue, and he's continuously meeting with Anne Boleyn now. We're having different dialogue and conversations between Anne. The way that Anne is written in the story is she's definitely conniving. That's the best word that I have for her. She's very conniving, she's very selfish, and she's very eager to obtain her role as queen, and she'll stop at no cost to be able to do that. And that is how she's written. And so the thing is, it seems like Hilary Mantel is partial to Thomas Cromwell, and she likes him. It might be because he's this Putney guy who comes from nothing, and he's worked his way up into like a super high status. But Anne Boleyn is not so much. She's born into a family. They're not that rich, wealthy, well off, but they have a title of some sort. And, you know, she'll stop at nothing to get what she wants. And people are not partial to that type of person, that type of conniving, that type of in nefariousness. So she's written in that type of way, which it is what it is. You know, I'm going to keep reading it, and now it's bringing me back to how Anne was acting and Bring Up the Bodies, which I can't wait to get back into that book even more. But among the aspect that Thomas Cromwell is now in court, you have this sort of, and I have my notes here. You have the tension in which I am reading this story, or the way that Hilary Mantel has written the interactions between Thomas and all of the other players in the story is very tense, which brings me to the tension that she has been able to like create amongst this the plot. And I'm super like, I'm just really like holding my breath as I'm reading the story, because now at this particular point in the narrative, you don't know what's going to come next. There's always somebody that has something up their sleeve, and it's very interesting how Hilary Mantel was able to capture that, you know, and to capture the mind, I guess, of Thomas Cromwell. That's what you're basically witnessing and experiencing the way Thomas Cromwell's mind was working and alternating in Tudor London, Tudor England. And it's just so well done. Once again, my favorite freaking phrase of the year. It's so well done and compulsively readable. And you know, Hilary Mantel is just a genius. I just cannot, once again, of course, as a reader, you have to have a vast imagination to even enjoy the plot, to enjoy any type of plot or any type of vibes or any type of meandering words, to make words come off the page and enter into your cognizance, your consciousness. You have to have imagination, but to be able to write something like this is a whole different story in and of itself. And it's just like, did she or did she not have the power to go back in time to Tudor England, Tudor London, to be able to do something like this? You know, it's like, did she or did she not? So that's how I really feel. And so to be able to write a prose this considered is just like, it's genius, to say the least. I don't have really much to say. I love the way she is like introducing these characters to you in a way that it's like almost imagining that you've never heard of Jane Seymour. Like you don't like not understanding where Jane Seymour actually came from, and writing her in her little narrative of like how Thomas Cromwell was trying to figure out who is this mousy face, pale skinned girl who is a handmaiden to Anne Boleyn. And to know my history, I know my history, and I know, and you should know too, that Jane Seymour ends up being the wife to Henry, who gives him his son after Anne Boleyn is beheaded. But to like read the intrigue and read the mystery that is Jane, and how she's secretly possibly this spying on everything that's going on, and like giving that information back to her brother, I think it's setting the reader up to understand that Jane Seymour's brothers were plotting the whole time. And I think that's what's gonna come, that you end up seeing that unfold in Bring Up the Bodies. It's all just so masterfully done, and it's well crafted in a way that to me is way more mesmerizing than actually watching the series, the Wolf Hall series, which I'm gonna watch that. But I will much rather prefer to have read this than to watch it on TV. It's giving me so much life. The 16th century is a very interesting time period. First of all, in and of itself, coming into the idea that now everybody can divorce based on the leaps and bounds that Henry had to go through just to be able to marry this woman that was selling him a dream. No one has real idea of genetics, of anatomy. It was both the sperm and the egg together. And the fact that you don't hear them talking about this, it's just, I love the fact that we have came so far. It's so ignorant to me that they would blame the fact that Catherine never was able to conceive a son, a healthy son. They blame it on the woman. They blame all of these things on the woman, and the idea that they looked at women as this inferior creature that has no worth, has no genius, is not smart, is lackluster. But I want to say the way that Hilary Mantel writes Thomas, and how Thomas felt about his daughter Anne. He had a daughter named Anne. You could tell Anne probably was tomboyish and was ready to take over the world. So he knew the intrigue and the wits of women, but still men in general as a whole, they did not care for women at all. And just to read this and know how Elizabeth came to be one of the best monarchs, queens. It's all just very interesting. And I really like it a lot. And I really like the build up. I like it. It's not the pace. It's just very much well paced, basically. And I like the tenseness that is reading something like this. Like, I just like the way that it's making me feel. It's page turner for sure. 4 hours went by so fast last night as I was reading this. I'm like, God damn it, it's 1:30 in the morning, Diamond. Take your ass to sleep, you know? So that's also a thing. And I just hate to see certain negative comments about this masterpiece of a book. When you put in so much effort in any type of prose, any type of piece of writing or literature that is also this fucking good, and to have people rate it 1 star, that's insane to me on numerous levels. And I'll be able to really like hone in on how I feel, I think, once I'm done, and have like some real language for why this book should not possibly even receive a star rating, because of its historical accuracy and because just the personality that Henry, or why do I want to call her Henry so bad? The personality that Hilary Mantel was able to give Thomas Cromwell, this figure that none of us have ever met, you know, and it seems so accurate. It's just good, you know. I'm once again having a very rewarding experience in reading this story, and I really like the position of it. I really do. I really like it. I like the exposition. I like the character study, the flaws of humanity, of man, the religious portion, the religious aspects that are given here, and really understanding about how the monarchy was able to obtain wealth, and how kings and queens and the monarch system at large was very poor. You know, they didn't even have any money. And so you had to come up with all of these like different ways to swindle your more powerful families, your more wealthy families, out of so much money due to paying property taxes, land taxes, food taxes, whatever the case may be, in order to like fund the throne, to keep the monarchy in place. It's just all so fucking smart. All of it is a very smart and calculated system. And it just makes me question humanity, because it's still going on today. It's like nothing really has changed, you know, and it's just like, why are we moving so slow on things? But yeah, I really enjoyed this, or I'm acting like I'm done. I am really enjoying this. And like I said, I have not picked up Panin. And honestly, I don't plan on picking up Panin until I'm done, because this isn't one of those books that's hard to read, or I don't want to pick it up, so I need to grab something new. This is I need to keep on reading so I can see what's gonna happen next. And so yeah, I'll give, so I guess there's gonna be 2 more updates before I'm done with the vlog. So I'm gonna read 150 pages today, and I'll give you an update tonight, and then I'm gonna finish the book tomorrow, and I'll do 1 more update, and we'll wrap it up. I don't know. All right, what is up, you guys? I'm just here sat at City Silo over in like the Laurelwood area, the Sanderland area in Memphis. It's a vegan restaurant here. Very good food. I'm waiting on my food to come now. I ordered the Sunshine Burrito, and I'm so hungry. What is the day? The day is Tuesday. It is March the 12th, and I have this much left of Wolf Hall. So I am steadily trying to get this book finished. It is my goal to get this book finished today, because I do want to start on another book. I at least want to finish what I started with Panin and just get some more action going on. Not that I'm bored with it. I'm absolutely in love with it, and I do have tons to share. It's a long book. It is a very, very long book. So we've gotten to the portion of the novel where Henry and Anne Boleyn have what seems like they have eloped. There isn't like this big grand gesture of an idea that he has completely divorced Catherine. It's more or less along the lines of him and Anne just ended up getting married. Thank you. Him and Anne just got married. It wasn't so much in secret. There were witnesses there, but still, in Catherine's eyes, Henry is still her husband, and she knows him best. Now, I want to say the part that so many pictures, like so many movies, have gotten exactly the same as Wolf Hall is this idea. And it's so funny because what I was about to say before, let me just say this first, but it's so funny how Henry treats this whole idea that Catherine is his sister and not his wife, as if she has not been married to him for the past 20 years. They have shared a daughter together and countless other children, born and passed away, and also just passed away, miscarried. They have Mary, like I said, together, and now he's trying to say that Mary is an illegitimate child. She's a bastard. He's also trying to say or insinuate that, you know, Catherine is his sister. Oh, and tell my sister. Is it raining? He's like, do tell my sister that I do wish her well, or greetings from her brother Henry. It's so petty and so funny how they were, how things were, how the court, how the king was back in those times. And movies captured that aspect of the whole ordeal very well also. And what also is interesting is just the way that Hilary Mantel captures too the religious aspect of being at court and being the king and all of the people that he has under him. They are so devout in their Christianity and how they pray for things, and they're constantly swearing on the Bible as it relates to this incident or that, and just the whole thing is just it's just really an interesting book, to say the least. It's just a very interesting book. And so we were at the part now, like I said, where here's my food, by the way. It's a big fat burrito. We're at the part where Anne is pregnant, and it's like she's totally gotten pregnant. That's what it looks like on the inside. She's totally gotten pregnant before they got married. A whole pregnancy. There was insinuation, and this is Cholula. It's like hot sauce imported from Mexico, or Mexican hot sauce. The pico, which I like a lot. I just like tomato, anything tomato, onion, cilantro. I really just came from a job interview. Well, I went home and changed my clothes though. My interview was at 12. It was at noon. And I honestly liked it so much. I'll give updates when updates are due, but I did like the people that I met with. I like the organization. I'm not opposed to working regularly, although I just quit my job. But I'm just getting too old to work somewhere that does not make me happy, at least. You know, if I'm going to sell my labor, I have to at least like it a little bit. You know what I mean? And I do like to work. So I'm just trying to find something that suits me, my personality, my vibes. And it's all in all a healthy place to work. Because we have to work, you know? So honestly, it's good for your mind. This is so yum. Wolf Hall is Wolf Halling. And I honestly, I'm just enjoying the days of Thomas Cromwell. She's doing this thing where we're basically following how a typical day of the life of a counselor, or his new job title is jewel of something, and he basically audits the finances of King Henry, and we're just going along with his day. And like I said, the court intrigue, the lies, the gossip, you know. I really like the dramaticness too. Like, okay, so the novel in and of itself is not super dramatic. Like I said, it's really just the daily goings on and the thoughts and processes of Thomas Cromwell. But when it's time for her to talk about those more dramatic scenes that we all know to be true or to have happened, I love the build up, and I love the part that Thomas Cromwell plays in just basically trying to make sure everything is copacetic, everything is kosher. That is him. He is the do boy. He's definitely the do boy for Henry VIII. And which, honestly, in hindsight, reading about Thomas Cromwell's thought process, he also knows that there's probably going to be some sort of downfall. Anybody who has ever been in position, in a specific position of power within the court of Henry VIII, they all fall down eventually. Everyone, either of natural causes, of their own free will, or because of King Henry himself, they all have died. Before they die, they either been cast away from court, money has been stripped away from them, their titles have always been taken. I don't know any person any figure in history that gets so close to the king and stays that way. It's crazy. It only lasts for so long. And Thomas Cromwell kind of hints at that, or Hilary Mantel hints at that in Wolf Hall. It's just a really smart book. And it makes me feel smart that I'm reading it. Just to sum it up, that's how I feel. It's just really impressive. That's it. It's a very impressive book. So yeah, I'm going to sit here, finish my lunch, and check my emails. And I will give you guys the final update in a few hours, because I'm about 120 pages away from being finished. All right. I'm backity back. Why do I keep doing it? I don't even want my hair behind my ear right now. All right, so the deed is done. Wolf Hall has now been finished after 3 days. We finished Wolf Hall after 3 days. Anaya. So, yep, I like it. I like this book. I like this book a whole lot. Clearly, I feel like being jacked up on coffee. I've had 2 coffees today and a Red Bull. Does anybody just like the way Red Bull tastes? You know, I don't drink Red Bull for energy. I drink Red Bull for the flavor. Okay, I just like how it tastes. And I also tried that viral Red Bull mixture where you mix the Red Bull with the vanilla creamer, or no, you Red Bull with cream and then you put vanilla in it. It tastes like strawberry shortcake. So good. But I don't really envision myself I don't really see myself drinking that every day. So anyway, back to the topic at hand. I enjoyed this very, 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 very much. It's a quite wordy book, if you can't already tell. This edition caps out at 604 pages. Yeah, 604 pages. But the typical one, like the one that all the other ones are 646 pages. So to me, it's a tome. Okay, even though it don't look like it, this book is long as fuck. It's very long, and it's quite wordy. And I don't really necessarily think that everything that she put in here needed to be put in here, like those sidebar conversations and stuff like that. It was a lot of those. But of course it was to gather, like I said, more to gather or to make us or to situate us in Tudor London, Tudor England. It's all necessary, like the daily goings ons of everything, the intrigue, the cunning, the lies, the manipulation, the confusion, the blackmail, the enemies to lovers, enemies to more enemies, enemies to death. So a lot of the conversations in here, of course, were rooted in us, or in Hilary Mantel exposing all that it was to offer around that time period. So I can appreciate her and all of the words for that. But a lot of times it was just like, okay, girl, can we get to the point, or can we move on to the next scene? But anyway, that's very much minor, very much minute. I really enjoyed this book. So a lot of qualms people have with this book is that there's a lot of he, and there's a lot of Thomases in the book, and there's a lot of men talking, and a lot of times you never could understand who actually is the person speaking. But it was clear as day for me to understand when the book started that this is Thomas Cromwell telling the story, and we are in Thomas Cromwell's head. So a lot of the he was the omniscient narrator speaking about Thomas. Thomas was the he in the story. It was clear to me. I could tell that wasn't an issue or problem for me. Like I said, also it was very helpful for me to have that companion piece of the audiobook there to also narrate for me. I didn't use the audiobook the entire time, but I did use it a lot of the time, and I like it a lot. Like I said in one of the clips prior, the audiobook is excellent. Okay, it's so good. It brings the story home for you in those aspects and points where you're like confused, when you're lost, or when you need a little bit of a push to get it finished. Turning the audiobook on and letting the narrator just read to you in his voices, in his many voices, was quite necessary. And I would recommend having those two side by side if you're going to tackle Wolf Hall. But for me, I'm more of a visual words on the eyes, reading the words type of person, because I do like to remember the novels that I read in a more personal way, and so I really like this. Now, another thing that I can add about the story, of course, you know, it didn't end. It ended with everyone heading to Wolf Hall, and if you do not know, Wolf Hall is where the Seymours live. Jane Seymour, Thomas Seymour, her brother, all of them, and that's where it ends for this one. And then in Bring Up the Bodies, it picks up going to Wolf Hall. I think it's been 2 years since I read this. Okay, no, Wiltshire. Anyways, it's been 2 years since I read this, but typically this is about the case leading up to Anne Boleyn getting beheaded. So but yeah, they ended here. Yeah, so the funniest thing is that there's still hope that Anne is going to be having a son. So we haven't even, this is so good in the way that it ended, because we know where it's going because we know the history, but it's just so intriguing just reading about it, basically. So yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say as far as the Wolf Hall situation is concerned, but I like this book. It was good, y'all. I honestly, I didn't even have a lot of spoilers in this one. I'm really a spoilery person, but I really want to say I just think that it's just a magnificent book overall, and it really truly to me captures the ambiance of who Thomas Cromwell possibly was, because there's little known about Thomas Cromwell. So the way that Hilary Mantel decided to write about him, I liked it. He's a very ruthless character. Don't get me wrong. He's very much written sympathetically here. He's very much written like he's a lovable person, a likable guy. There's intrigue about him. Initially at the forefront of being this like blacksmith's son, and never going to college and obtaining wealth and possibly losing that wealth and obtaining that wealth again, and just like being in everybody else's business but having little known about him. That is quintessential when you think about people dominating industries or in places of power and stuff like that. You almost always have to know any and every little minor detail about everybody else around you. But as far as your livelihood is concerned, it's best to make sure that no one knows too much about you, so they can't situate you in any bullshit and no mess. And that's what Thomas Cromwell, that's the figure that is painted to me about Thomas Cromwell in the series. You don't know shit about him. You know, he got some kids that died. You know, he fosters some children now as well. You know, his wife passed on. You don't know a lot. You really don't even know how he got so rich, honestly. Except that, you know, his mind. He's a master at just like ambiguity. And I like that. And I like the idea that he has this warmth to him as well. And he showed there's so many scenes of kindness in here, surrounding how he might feel about women, and how he was not a person to be mean to women, hit on women, abuse women, any of that. He was more of a warm person, I guess, is what I'm just gonna leave it there. He was more of just a warm person, and he was very sympathetic and empathetic to women and all of the qualities that women possess. He never spoke ill of women in here. We don't know, I had to keep disclaimer, we don't know shit about Thomas, but the way Hilary decided to write Thomas was in the idea that he loved women on a different level, and he foresaw where women would take the country, basically, is what it's kind of seeming like to me. He was very sympathetic to Mary Boleyn, and he actually tried to marry Mary off to his nephew, but it's so, with King Henry being so freaking selfish, you know, he wanted to keep her for himself, because he knew after Anne produced what he needed Anne to produce, he was going to be done with her. It's just such an intriguing story. The whole idea of him being, like I said, super petty. He was so petty when it came down to divorcing Catherine. Like, I'm telling y'all, if you read this, you're going to find some funny moments as it relates to when Henry finally got what he wanted, which is divorcing Catherine and marrying Anne, and how he started to just call her his sister, as if he, like I said in the last clip, as if he wasn't in love with her for so long. Tell my sister hi. Like, are you kidding? Are you joking? Like, I'm just like, whatever, bro. Like, that the parts regarding how they viewed women and the female body, and how the woman was blamed if a man wasn't born, if a son wasn't born. I hated those parts. You know, it is what it is. The ignorance of during those time periods is just like, gosh, you know, like, oh my God, like, but it is what it is. It's a part of history. So anyway, I got a super deep, detailed history lesson in reading this novel, but it was also very entertaining. Thomas Cromwell, he's like one of my favorite figures now. One of my favorite figures of this time period, which is so long ago. But also, as I said in earlier clips, you know, Hilary did a good job of like inserting you in that time period, and the way that the communication or the conversations were had between these characters is very much relevant today. As anything in books from the past or history from the past, all of the things repeat. So it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. But 1535 is a long time ago. Like, that's a long ass time ago. But I think because Queen Elizabeth, Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII, the time frame in which they lived, things happen before them that we still know about. Things happen, of course, after, but they're really some of the biggest, what is the word I'm looking for? Some of the biggest scandal. That's like one of the biggest things to ever happen in the world, to be able to divorce. Up until then, you could not get divorced, you know? So it's like, that's gonna forever be remembered. That story is gonna go down in history over time, like years and years to come, because it's just so fascinating, you know? And yeah, that's all. All in all, I rate this, I don't know. I don't really want to give this a rating, to be honest with you guys. It was an excellent read. It's a very, once again, rewarding read. My reading this year, that's like the theme for me this year. I want to read some good fiction. Very good fiction, very rewarding fiction. I'm trying to read things that'll take me into, take me deeper into my 30s, things that will enlighten me, things that will awaken me. Stuff that really is relative to just the mindset that I'm like moving into, being, of course, this newly 32-year-old woman. Of course, this is basically like a birthday reading vlog. And just, I'm just really interested in stuff that's just like really good. Like, I'm not trying to read shit that is not good literature. You know what I mean? And I hate to sound like a pompous asshole, but I'm just only interested in reading good fiction. And not good because it won the Booker, but Hilary Mantel is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, she deserved it. She deserved it for both of these. So, and it was just good. Anyway, I'm done talking. I need to edit the vlog so it can go up tomorrow. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for some more videos to come. I don't know what else we have to come. But yeah, happy birthday to me. Thank you guys for spending my birthday with me. If you made it to the end, leave a birthday cake because it's my birthday. But yeah, I'll see you guys in my next upload. Thank y'all so much. We're about to have 1,000 subscribers. Yay! I'll definitely be posting the Q&A type of situation on my community tab for you guys to go ahead and get your questions ready, because I'm definitely gonna do a 1K Q&A. And yeah, that's it on that. I'll see you guys in my next upload. Deuces.